The Serengeti National Park, the treasure trove of wildlife in the heart of East Africa. It's a safe haven for some of the animal kingdom's most majestic species, including more than 3,000 lions, the king of the beasts. But in 1994, hundreds of lions are dying, and there are fears that they could be wiped out from the Serengeti Plains forever. American veterinarian Melody Roca-Parker is on the case to try and solve this mystery.
The main purpose of my going to the Serengeti was to find out what disease problems wildlife in Tanzania were experiencing. Suddenly, almost on a weekly basis, I was being presented with lions who had been killed by other lions.
This is completely unprecedented.
These were not the classic takeovers of a new male coming in and killing off the youngsters. These were adult animals that were being killed, being crushed skulls, damaged livers and spleens. It was a total mystery, and we honestly did not know what was going on.
If the killings continue, the biggest population of lions in the world could be destroyed. Dr. Craig Packer joins Melody in the hunt for clues. He has studied the Serengeti lions for over 20 years. Nobody knows them better than him.
Lions are highly territorial. So females defend a territory against other females, males defend prides against other males. They're always on the lookout for strangers in their territory, and they'll chase them away. There was kind of an odd thing to find so many dead lions when these subadults would ordinarily just run away and be chased and not stand their ground until death.
While lions often fight other lions, battles to the death are rare. So why are so many lions killing other lions? Melody and Craig are totally mystified. Desperate for any information they can get, they turn to local safari guides and park rangers.
Anytime anybody saw any peculiar behavior or a sick animal, I would hear about it. And everybody was alert about this problem of the lions.
Then, a chance encounter in the park changes the course of the investigation. A hot air balloon pilot taking tourists on a bird's eye safari spots a male lion basking in the morning sunshine. As he looks on, the lion tries to stand up. Something is very wrong.
He had his clients actually watched a lion having a seizure right in front of them, and this does not happen.
We thought the lions somehow were invulnerable. We thought, you know, this is the most robust animal out here. Nothing can hurt it.
The lions here have been studied for nearly 30 years. No one had ever witnessed anything like this. But reports of unusual behaviors start to flood in. And what Melody sees is very disturbing.
Melody, do you read me?
Yep.
That there is a sick lion near the Maasai Kopis. Over.
Suddenly, I'm seeing lions with twitching faces, rhythmic twitching faces, and legs twitching, and realized that we had a very severe neurologic disease process going on.
With the seizures being seen more often, the team soon get news that provides a crucial development and links them to the mysterious spate of lions killing each other.
The real breakthrough came one day when a tour company was observing two male lions out in the middle of the plains looking perfectly normal when a plane flew over, and apparently that little bit of stimulus caused one of these lions to start having a seizure right in front of them. And in the midst of this, the other male lion, who was probably a brother, started attacking that animal, brutally biting him. And that lion that got bitten was never seen again, and so he probably died. So on hearing this report, I suddenly went, that's it. That is how and why all these lions were being killed by other lions that I've been seeing for the previous months. It was that they were having either seizures or behavioral distortions that their own pride members couldn't tolerate, and they killed them.
Lions having seizures are being attacked and killed by other lions. But Melody and Craig have no idea what is causing those seizures. So they send blood and tissue samples to labs across Africa, Europe, and the US for analysis. And a lab in the United States isolates the culprit, a virus that no one thought lions could contract.
There were a number of unique footprints, if you will, in the tissues, something called a giant cell, where the nuclei divide but the cell can't. So you get these giant cells with 10, 12 or more nuclei.
These giant cells with more than one nucleus are a clear indication of a virus called canine distemper. In dogs, canine distemper can cause the brain to swell, and in extreme cases leads to seizures. It's widespread in Africa's domestic dogs, but it's never been seen before in wild cats.
Distemper is an airborne virus, so it's a bit like a cold or the flu. So if somebody sneezes on you, that's how you're going to get it. They're highly infectious, and on average, each infected animal will infect 3 new animals. So when it's that infectious, it's out of control.
The virus is only transmitted through close contact, and lions rarely, if ever, come into contact with dogs. So how could the big cats have contracted a dog disease?
Now, the problem is, how do you get a disease from a village of dogs to a lion in the middle of the Serengeti?
Animals like jackals and bat-eared foxes have been known to have the disease. But one animal that travels freely between villages in the savannah is Africa's very own garbage disposal unit, the hyena.
Hyenas are scavengers, and what we see is that in the villages, when the dogs are sick and they die, the villagers just throw their dogs out to feed to the hyenas, and hyenas will commute long distances.
Hyenas will feed on a dead dog one day, then fight over a kill with a lion the next, passing on the virus. Craig and Melody are stunned that lions have contracted the disease. And when they retest samples they've collected over the past 3 decades, the results are even more surprising. The lions have had the disease before, with no ill effects.
We could see clear signs of an earlier outbreak in 1981, and there'd been hints of distemper outbreaks in the 1960s and 70s. So it was like, well, wait a minute, if distemper is killing the lions, how come it didn't kill the lions in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s? There had to be something else going on.
So there must be another disease infecting the lions that makes them vulnerable to the effects of canine distemper. Once again, the lions have got canine distemper, and the team need to figure out why they're dying.
So we had a causative agent, which is distemper, that clearly coincided with these die-offs. And so after we had the second die-off, we went back and looked at what was going on, and then we realized there was just this unique situation.
It turns out the circumstances leading up to the outbreaks are identical. Both epidemics occurred after long periods without rain, causing the lions to change their diet.
We had come through a really serious time of drought that had gone on for about 1.5 years, maybe longer. And as a consequence, thousands and thousands of animals were dying of starvation, not the carnivores, but the prey species. And lions are opportunists, and so they became buffalo specialists. And every single night, they would go out and kill a buffalo.
My field assistant said they had never seen so many being captured by the lions. They literally were going from one buffalo carcass and then catching another sick buffalo.
When When there's this much food available, lions don't even bother to eat the whole of their prey. They just feast on their favorite parts, leaving the rest.
This is not normal, okay? Normally it's, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. They would eat minor parts of the buffalo. And the part they liked the most was the liver. And if you're a starving animal, what does the liver have to do? It has to detoxify everything in your body, and the liver becomes saturated with whatever poisons are in your body. And so one of the questions I had is, if that's the part of the buffalo that the lion was eating, what did that do to that lion?
Could toxic buffalo livers be poisoning lions, rendering them defenseless against the canine distemper virus? It's very unlikely. Lions benefit from an abundance of food, and there have many droughts in the past where lions have feasted on buffalo with no ill effects. But there is another way the buffalo could be infecting the lions: through their blood-sucking ticks.
The other aspect of killing buffalo every night is that the parasites that infested the buffalo, the ticks, then made an easy transfer onto the lions. And buffalo carry an organism called a babesia.
Babesia is a microscopic parasite that in high numbers causes anemia, fever, and weakness. It's transmitted from host to host by ticks that feed on the blood of mammals, including lions. So could the babesia parasite be the final piece of the puzzle, causing seizures and cannibalism in the lions of the Serengeti? Let's review the evidence. First, hyenas contract canine distemper from domestic dogs.
When the dogs are sick and they die, the villagers just throw their dogs out to feed to the hyenas.
Hyenas come into close contact with lions it kills in the wild, and the virus is passed on. But canine distemper virus alone doesn't cause the seizures. So could the lion's diet of sick buffalo have played a part?
They literally were going from one buffalo carcass and then catching another sick buffalo.
The other aspect of killing buffalo every night is that the parasites that infested the buffalo, the ticks, then made an easy transfer onto the lions. And buffalo carry an organism called a babesia.
And when Melody tests blood samples from dead lions, she discovers the final piece of the jigsaw.
They were loaded with a babesia-like organism.
It's this microscopic parasite, along with the canine distemper virus, that causes the lions to have these traumatic seizures. And these fits lead to the deadly attacks from other lions.
They were having seizures that their own pride members couldn't tolerate, and they killed them.
Having unraveled the complex mystery of the killer lions of the Serengeti, Melody and Craig are now able to predict when future outbreaks might occur, helping them better protect Africa's king of beasts. Case closed.